Hey writers, you're listening to the Kobo Writing Life podcast, where we bring you insights and inspiration for growing your self-publishing business. We're your hosts. I'm Laura, one of Kobo Writing Life's author engagement managers.
And I'm Rachel, Kobo Writing Life's author engagement manager. On today's episode, Laura and I chatted with Clayton Noblit, who is the senior marketing manager at Written Word Media. He is passionate about helping authors find their readers and finding ways to sell more books. When he's not working, he enjoys spending time with his family, playing sports, and making beverages.
We spoke to Clayton about getting his start in the indie author community and got all the details about Written Word Media's services like Free Booksy, Bargain Booksy, and more. We also learned about their new promo stacking service and how it helps authors promote their books and save time. This chat was super insightful, and Clayton gave lots of great marketing advice for authors, so please stay tuned. Hi, everyone. We're joined today by Clayton Noblit from Written Word Media. Clayton, can you start us off by telling our listeners a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. Well, first off, thank you so much for having me. Really excited to be here today. I am the senior marketing manager at Written Word Media. Written Word Media is a book marketing company, so we run promotions that help authors sell more books. And my job at Written Word Media is to get the word out about our services to authors, and then also speak with authors and try to work with them to develop new products and build the things that authors need to sell more books. So I really like my job. It's a lot of fun, and I get to work with a lot of authors and help them build their careers.
And we obviously want to hear a lot about Written Word Media and what y'all have to offer authors. But first, we'd like to know a little bit more about you and how you got started in the indie author space.
Yeah. So it's really dumb luck, honestly. So my first job out of college was working at a fintech startup. And in the same building as that company, there were about 250 other very small startups. And after about 3 or 4 years, the fintech startup was acquired, and they just wanted the tech. And so all the employees were looking for their next gig. And Written Word Media was actually across the hall, and they were looking to make their first marketing hire. And so I went over there and spoke with the founder, and it was just a hit right off the bat. I've always been a really big reader. We were one of those families growing up that didn't have TV. So we'd always be going to the library with mini bags, grocery bags, and fill them all up with books and be walking out, and everybody be staring at us like, what the hell are these people going to do with all these books? And we would read them and come back the next week and do the same thing. So yeah, as soon as I started talking to Ricky Woolman, our founder, it started to make a lot of sense to me. And I really was excited to work with authors. And so that was about 5.5 years ago. Yeah. And the rest is history. I've had a really great time at Written Word Media. The company is a great place to work. And then also working with authors is really fun as well. So that's definitely my favorite thing, is going to conferences and getting to hang out with authors and learn about what makes them tick and what they're working on. And you also just get the best conversations speaking with authors, the strangest combinations of different romance tropes being brought up and how those can work together with book marketing. It's stuff you don't get in any other industry, in particular fintech, which is where I come from. So yeah, have a great time working with authors.
Has there been anything that surprised you in your move from being such a voracious reader to working more behind the scenes in publishing?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think honestly, what surprised me is how big right off, I didn't know much about indie publishing, right? I had somewhat of a grasp of the big five and how all of that worked. But diving straight into indie publishing, I was stunned by how large it is, how big the market is, and how, the books I had been reading, I had read indie books and I had no idea that I had, right? And so I guess like the PR about indie publishing as a concept hadn't reached me as a consumer. And so I think it was just stunning right away to realize how big this market was and how I was already participating in it as a reader. I think that's something that a lot of readers don't recognize. And I think that's changing slowly as indie publishing starts to get more and more mainstream. But I think that was the biggest thing that shocked me.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of stuff about indie publishing that you don't realize until you get more behind the scenes, for sure. Can you tell us a little bit more about Written Word Media and the different services you offer? Because I know one of the big ones is Free Booksy, but you also have Bargain Booksy, Red Feather Romance. There's a lot of services going on there.
Yes, we have a lot of different ways we can help authors sell more books. And so we kind of have two broad categories. And one is what we call email promos. And those are the brands that you just listed. So Free Booksy, Bargain Booksy, Red Feather Romance. And the concept of an email promo is we at Written Word Media have email lists of hundreds and thousands of readers. I think combined, we're at 1.25 million readers now. And authors can pay us to email links to buy an author's book out to readers in that author's genre. So if you go to writtenwordmedia.com and you have a paranormal romance book and you want to market it to paranormal romance readers, you can schedule a promotion with us. And on the day of your promotion, we will email a link to buy your book out to a bunch of readers who love paranormal romance. So that's kind of how email promos work. And so that's kind of the bread and butter of our business and what we're known for. We also run Facebook and Amazon ad campaigns for authors. So there's one thing that I've learned about authors is that very few of them really love running ads, right? Almost every author I speak to dreads running ads. And as a marketer, I actually really like running ads. That might make me a sick person, but I enjoy it. And so do a lot of people at our company. And so we also run Facebook and Amazon ad campaigns for authors. And the great thing about that is the author really has to do nothing. They just have to give us the link to their book, select the start date for the ad campaign, and pay. And then our team writes the ad copy, makes the images, does the scheduling, the targeting, the optimization. And so for the author, it's like buying a t-shirt. It takes them 5 minutes, they're done. And then our team handles everything else so the author doesn't have to worry about that. So our ad campaigns are also very popular. And then last year, we launched something that's been really, really exciting. And that's what we're calling ready-made promo stacks. And promo stacking is a strategy that indie authors have been using for a long time. And it's the act of putting a lot of marketing tactics in a short period of time. So running 2 or 3 email promos and some ads and posting on social media in a very short 3 to 5 day span. And the benefit of this is that it increases your rank on retailers like Amazon or Kobo if the algorithm picks up an increase in book sales. And so you get even more sales as your rank increases. And so this is a strategy that authors have been using for a really long time, but it's very time consuming. And so speaking to authors, they would come to us and say, hey, I love using your promos. They're very effective, but I'm promo stacking and it's taking me 4 hours spread across a couple weeks to get all of this scheduled because you're using multiple promo sites. Some promo sites, not ours, but some won't tell you the day that your promo is going to run because they're trying to work out the logistics in the back end. And so the author will apply for the promo, wait and see what day it's going to be, and then they have to schedule their other promos around it. So it just becomes this logistical nightmare. And so what we did last year is we partnered with other promo sites to make ready-made promo stacks. And so you can book an entire promo stack on writtenwordmedia.com in the time it used to take you to schedule just one promo. And so we've taken this process that would take many hours over 2 or 3 weeks and narrowed it down to just 15 minutes. So that's been something that authors are really excited about. So that's kind of the big thing that we've done in the past year.
Can you let us know some of the other promo sites that you're working with to make these promo stacks happen?
Yes, definitely. So the first one we partnered with was the Fussy Librarian. We also work with eReader IQ, eReader News Today, Hello Books, Book Barbarian, and Book Adrenaline, and then also Red Roses Romance. So we have a lot of different partners that we're working with to make this happen. Yeah, and it's been really exciting because for the author, there's no price difference. So all the promos cost the same if you were to book them individually. So the author's not losing out in that way. But it's just much easier than it used to be. And speaking with authors, the big takeaway is that marketing is too difficult. No one wants to spend all their time doing it. They'd much rather be writing. And so by creating this ready-made promo stack, we're saving authors a lot of time and getting them the same results they would get if they scheduled them all on their own. So it's been a really exciting year. And yeah, we're getting a lot of great feedback on them from authors.
That's great. Yeah, from what we've heard talking to authors, the main roadblock seems to be time and not having enough time to run promos on all the different retailers. So I can imagine that would be really helpful for the authors.
Definitely something I hear is the most valuable thing an author has is time, right? Because so many authors are not full-time authors, right? They also have a day job, or they're raising a family, or they have a day job and they're raising a family, and they would like to have time to sit and read also in addition to writing all their books. And so time is something that authors really typically don't have. And so that's a big focus for us at Written Word Media, is making marketing products that both work and get results for authors, but also products that are not very time consuming and take work away from the author. And so you'll find when you go to our website and you run a promo with us or run an ad campaign, it takes you 5 to 10 minutes to schedule it. You're completely done, and we handle everything. And that's kind of how we build all of our products, because we know time is a premium for authors.
Do you guys run promotions for audiobooks as well, or is it mostly ebooks right now?
We do. So we run promotions for audiobooks in our Facebook ad campaigns. We run promotions for audiobooks on Red Feather Romance, which is our romance only promo site. And then we have a smaller promo site called Audio Thicket, which is an audio only brand. However, Audio Thicket is our smallest promo site. It's our newest one as well. So we have limited genres right now for that promo site, but we do hope we'll get larger in the coming years as audio grows.
That's great. Yeah, I can see audio is kind of, I think, still growing in the industry right now. So I can see why it would be the smaller one, smaller and up and coming.
Yeah, exactly. And it's been interesting too. I think going to conferences this past year, I've been noticing a lot of audio production companies looking to work with authors. And so I think there's more kind of small publisher money coming into the market and helping produce audiobooks for authors. So that seems to be something that's happening. That's a trend that I think I see happening in the industry, is fewer authors producing their own audiobooks and more publishers or small presses coming in to help produce the audiobooks and then take a royalty share as well.
Is there one type of promotions, since Written Media Words runs so many different ones, is there one that's more popular with authors?
Yeah, that's a good question. So all of our promos are segmented by genre. So basically, when a reader joins one of our mailing lists, they tell us what they like to read, so which genres they like to read, and then how they read. So if they read on a Kindle, if they read on a Kobo device. And so that way we're able to very, very much target our readers. And so readers are only getting books that they're likely to be interested in. And so for authors, when you go to our site, you can really segment by which genre your book is in, and then choose to promote that way. A big choice that authors have to make when running a promo with us is if they want to make their book free and promote it, or if they want to have their book priced $4.99 or below, right? So all of our promos are based on inexpensive ebooks. That's why readers sign up for our newsletters. And so there's this big debate over free or not free, right? Should you run a free promo, which typically gets you a lot of downloads and a lot of attention, but fewer of those readers will actually read the book and go on to buy other books by the author, right? But you do get a lot of attention. If you run a paid promo where your book is priced 99 cents to $4.99, then you'll get fewer people buying the book. You'll still get some, but you'll get fewer than a free promo. But those people that do buy it are probably going to be more likely to finish the book and go on to read the next book in the series. So kind of that conversion rate will be higher for a paid promo. And so that's kind of the debate that authors tend to have. And I think our free promos are slightly more popular. And the reason for that is that if you have multiple books, especially in a series, a free promo tends to be the most effective strategy for authors. And so a lot of the authors that we work with promote with us every other month. They're coming back again and again and again, and they have multiple books. And so they're running free promos every time and getting a lot of readers to their book one. And then a certain amount of those readers are going on to read book two, book three, and so forth in the series. So I think regardless of genre, our free promos tend to be a little bit more popular with authors, but it's close. Like I don't think it's much more than, like 52-48, something like that. So I think free promos are probably our most popular. And then the promo stacks, I think, are far and away more popular than our individual promos. The individual promos are much less expensive. So if you are a newer author, you're testing things out, or you don't have a very large marketing budget, then an individual email promo can be a great way to kind of dip your toe in the water and see how things like that work. But the more experienced authors that have worked with us in the past, they know how our promos perform. And so they're just looking to save time. And so almost all of those authors have moved on to just running promo stacks.
Yeah, I find it interesting that there's always changes and trends in marketing in indie publishing, but that free first in series seems to be one of the most evergreen marketing techniques.
It's so true. It's so true that that was true when I started 5.5 years ago. And there's always the debate, right? Like, does free still work, right? Like that's something that I always hear people speaking about. And thus far, it seems to, right? And I think the primary reason for that is that when you're an indie author, your name isn't what sells your book, right? If you're not Stephen King, your name is not what's driving readers to actually buy your book. And so you need to get around that somehow. And a great way to get around it is to give away a book for free, right? It's a very low risk for the reader. They can download the book for free. If they don't like it, that's fine. They didn't spend any money on it, so it's low risk. But if they like it, then they're going to be pretty excited about it. Typically, the next book in your series is going to be less expensive than it would be if it was by a big five publisher. So then readers get excited about that. And then this whole world of indie publishing and your books has opened up to the readers. So yeah, I think it makes sense that free has continued to be so effective, but it is always a debate because it does vary author to author. Some authors swear by 99-cent promos. Some authors swear by $2.99. And so it's all kind of the individual's business strategy that makes the difference there.
Now, I'm curious, and I think this is kind of outside of the preset promo stacking, but do you ever see authors experimenting with doing book one free and then running a price drop promo on later books in the series at the same time? Do you know if that ever is an effective tool?
Yeah, so there are a lot of different strategies we see authors using. We definitely do see that. Sometimes someone will run a free promo for book one, and then they'll have book two at $2.99 or something inexpensive like that. And then the next month, they'll run a paid promo to book two. And that way they're kind of hitting this reader audience and kind of bringing people through to the next book in the series. So that's something that we definitely see authors doing. Another thing we see authors doing is running our series promos. And so a lot of retailers, you'll have to tell me if Kobo has a series page, but Amazon has a series page where if you have a series, there's a series page that lists all of the books in your series. And in the top right, there's a button where the reader can buy the entire series with one click. And so this page is really exciting for two reasons. One, for that button where you can buy the entire series with one click, making things easier is a great way to make them work better in digital marketing. But also, the series page on Amazon has a lot less competition, right? On your book page, you'll see your book, your description, the button to buy it. And then underneath that, there's a bunch of other books the reader can buy, right? It's very distracting, and a lot of readers probably move on to another book that they see on your book page. On the Amazon series page, you see a list of your books, and then way down at the bottom, there are other books that the reader could buy. And so the competition, the busyness on the page is not nearly as much. And so if you run a series promo with us, we send readers to your series page on the different retailers and on Amazon. So that's been a really effective thing that I think we launched series promos in 2020, I want to say. So we've been doing that for a little while, but that's something that's really popular. So using that series page. Does Kobo have a series page for book series where it's just the series listed on it?
If you go to your book product page on Kobo and then click the series in your metadata, if your metadata is correct, all of the titles in your series will show up.
Yeah.
So you can, if you search and then you copy and paste that URL, that is the equivalent to a series page. We don't have a buy all now. However, that leads to the question I was going to ask you. Can an author run a series promo if they have a complete series box set?
Yes, they can. So the series promo can be run for that. And even if there's not that buy now button, I don't think Apple has that either. It's still less competition. And also a lot of readers really like to read an entire series. I know for me, if I'm looking to get into a fiction, I'm a big sci-fi fan, right? And I kind of come back to it every 2 or 3 months. I'm like, okay, where's my next series going? And I want a series. I don't want a standalone novel. And so I want to make sure that there's multiple books out in the series so I can really dive into it. And so by sending readers to your series page, you're kind of validating that fear that there won't be more content if they really like the book. And so, yeah, I would test running ads to the series page. I think that's always a great idea if you're running ads as an author. And then, of course, series promos with us at Written Word Media is a great way to take advantage of that page and that function as well.
Is there a minimum amount of books in a series that an author needs before they can run one of those promos?
With us, it's 3. So you need to have at least 3 books in the series. Yeah.
And do you recommend having at least three books in a series before they run a free promo as well?
It depends. So I think for if you're getting a return on investment and getting like real monetary value back for the promo, I think having three is important. But there are other reasons to run a promo, right? For example, there's this kind of chicken or the egg thing that happens with authors where you publish a book. And then you're not getting as many sales as you would hoped. That's a very common experience. And then everyone tells you, "Well, we need to get some reviews." Well, how do you get reviews if no one buys or reads your book, right? A great way to get around that is by running a free promo and getting that first burst of downloads, getting that first group of readers through your book. So that could be a good reason to run a free promo. But typically, if you have less than three books, I would probably recommend running at least a 99-cent promo or higher, just because you'll be more likely to earn a little bit of money from the promotion itself.
Now, you mentioned ads and running series ads, and I have questions about ads because, like many authors, I find Facebook ads wildly confusing and overwhelming. So, my first question is last time we chatted, because you have been a guest on our podcast before, I believe the Facebook ad was a little bit on the newer side for written word media. And so, I'm curious both like what you've learned about running Facebook ads for indie authors in that time and kind of how you keep on top of trends with Facebook, because I know their ads have recently integrated more AI. So I'm just curious how you have adapted and what you've learned throughout this ad launching process.
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think what has helped us the most is that the ads product has been very popular with authors. And because of that, we have been running a lot of ads, like a lot of ads. And so when you run a lot of ads, you get a lot of data on what's working and what's not. And you're able to build audiences in a much more effective way as well. So every author that runs ads with us is helping the other authors work even better, right? Because we're learning from all these ads. And I think the number one thing there, like you were saying, is staying on top of the trends, right? Something that's really frustrating with running ads on platforms like Meta and Facebook is that you can become an expert. You can figure out a system that really works for you. And then one morning you'll go into your ads manager and your ads suddenly will not work at all anymore through no fault of your own. There's just been some change in the algorithm. And then you have to completely relearn the process of even making an ad in order to get things running again. And so this is a really frustrating experience, especially if you're an author and you're not spending as much time in the ads manager. Thankfully, because of how many ads we're running, both to sell books for authors, also to acquire new readers for our email lists, we're able to stay really on top of what's happening in the ads manager, what's working, and we're able to test and iterate. And one of the big changes with Meta ads in the past year is the introduction of more AI tools, right? So I would say late 2022 or so, in my opinion, Meta ads were in a really tough state. Things were really expensive. I didn't feel like I was very good at them, which is not a very fun thing for me. And so late 2022 was a very frustrating period. And then early in 2023, we got a lot of new AI tools from Meta. And one of those is what they're calling Advantage Plus. And so if you go to create an ad campaign in Meta right now, you'll see a lot of different Advantage Plus things. So there'll be Advantage Plus audience expansion, right, on the ad set level. And that is where Facebook says, hey, so you're targeting this group of people. Can we use our AI to expand that group in a way that we can't really tell you exactly how it works, but we feel confident it will improve the results of your ads? Previously, this sort of thing did not work very well. In 2022, the AI tools were not popular. We had turned off all of that, and we didn't really trust Meta's recommendation. In 2023, that completely changed. And the Advantage Plus targeting really helped us out. We saw our cost per click and CPM go down after we started introducing the Advantage Plus audience expansion. And then Meta also introduced a lot of Advantage Plus assets on the ad itself. So now when you go to create a Facebook ad, you write a lot of different copy variations on each individual ad. So I could have 5 headlines and 5 descriptions for each ad that pairs with one image. And then Meta is using their algorithm and their AI to present the headline, the description, and the image that they think will work best for each individual person that the ad is served to. And for whatever reason, this is working really well. And over the past year, we saw our cost per clicks on our ads for authors go down. I think we averaged around 16 cents on our cost per click for authors last year, which is really low. When we first launched the product, I think we were at 28 or 30, and we were really happy with that. And so last year we were able to really capitalize on the AI tools that Meta was offering. And so that's kind of the key, is staying on top of what's happening, what's changing. And thankfully, we're running ads at such great volume that we're able to really track what's working and adapt with the times.
Working with companies like Written Word Media has the advantage of having all that data that you mentioned from running so many ads. Do you have any advice for authors who are starting out and might not have that marketing budget yet to hire someone else and wants to tackle ads on their own?
Yeah, that's a good question. So the marketing budget thing is tricky, right? That's going to be like a very individualized thing. What I would say is you don't need to spend a lot on Meta to start understanding ads and start getting some results. So you can set up your own ad campaign and your own ad set and spend $3 a day, right? And start to get a hang of how all this works and not be spending an incredible amount of money over the course of a week. And so I think, people get intimidated by it because it can be a little confusing when you start out, but there are a lot of great resources out there. We have a blog post on writtenwordmedia.com about how to create Facebook ad campaigns. Mallory Cooper is an author who is so great at teaching authors how to run Facebook ads. So you can look up her resources as well. And you don't need to spend much to start learning and start getting some results. So I would say just give it a try. You don't need to spend a ton. I think you can spend $3 a day and really get some good results. And then if things are going well, then you can start spending more. Starting out with a really low budget is perfectly fine. And there are a lot of great resources out there for authors to learn how to do this stuff. And then, of course, if you get fed up with it and would rather have someone else take care of it for you, we can help with that as well. So, yeah.
It's funny you mentioned Mallory Cooper because we literally just chatted with her about Facebook ads.
Perfect.
Her knowledge base is phenomenal.
Yes.
So you've mentioned a couple of things, both cost per click and also just having successful ads. And I'm curious, maybe we can explain what cost per click is to the not as marketing savvy folks listening, but also how do you measure success for an ad? Is it a lower cost per click? Would you say that's the best measure of success?
Yeah. So great question. So cost per click. CPC is how much you pay when someone clicks on one of your ads. And so roughly, this is the amount you spent on an ad over a period of time divided by the clicks. Okay. And that gives you your cost per click. The tricky thing with running ads to retailers is you don't get conversion data. So if you have a book on Amazon and you run a Facebook ad to your Amazon book page, Facebook won't know when someone buys your book. And this is really frustrating because you don't actually know when your ads literally work. And so you can't look at cost per conversion or cost per sale because you just don't know. Facebook can't get that information from Amazon. So the best indicator we have on the effectiveness of an ad is cost per click, one step removed, how much you're spending to get someone to click on the ad. The tricky thing is you could be getting a lot of clicks and no sales, right? This could happen. And so a really good way, or not a really good way, but the best way authors have to measure success with ads or promotions is comparing time periods before and after, right? So let's say you want to start running some ads. Maybe don't do any marketing for a week, get your ads ready to go, and then run your ads and then compare week over week how things went, right? And this way you'll know that what variable changed. Well, I started running ads. Okay, did my sales change? Yes or no? And then you can attribute that difference to the ads. It's not an exact science, but that is a good way to start to get an understanding of the impact you're having. But other than that, cost per click, how much you're paying to get a reader to click your ad, is going to be the best indicator of how effective your ads are.
And like you mentioned with the intro of the AI, and it's running different images and different texts to different people, that the cost per click on those variations will kind of give you the insight into which one is working the best, right? Am I understanding this correctly? Okay, cool.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And so you'll have multiple ads in the ad set, and then they'll have different cost per clicks. You can also do different targeting, right? You can have different ad sets and target different audiences, and those will help indicate the best cost per click available to you. And so when you run a reader reach ad campaign with us, that's what we're doing. We're testing different audiences and different ads, and then choosing the ones that work the best for the remainder of the campaign. One thing authors can do to kind of get around this lack of data from retailers is by doing direct sales. So that is a really trendy thing right now, is authors selling books directly from their websites. I don't think this is the best idea for everyone, because I do think you need to have your own audience in order to really drive direct sales. Setting up a store is very time consuming or very expensive, depending on the route you want to go. And if you don't have a really big mailing list of readers or a big following on social media, it's going to be hard to get people to your website to actually buy the books for sale there. But what every author should be doing is, one, have a website, and then two, have a mailing list. Have an email list that readers can sign up to join. And then this way you have a direct way to contact your readers. And so another option for authors is, if you're really frustrated by running ads to your book pages on retailers and not knowing exactly how effective they are, is you can run ads to your email sign up on your website and say, hey, if you sign up for my mailing list, I'll give you a free novella, something like that, to give the reader a reason to join the mailing list. Then after they join your mailing list, then you can email them and start selling your books to them, and hopefully get them to kind of become part of your world. But by getting that email address, you have a direct way to contact the reader. And the ad platform like Meta knows when someone signs up for your mailing list. And so they can help optimize the ads and know who's going to sign up, who's the most likely to sign up, and serve them to those people. So if you're really frustrated by the lack of attribution, is what we call it with marketing, you can always start running ads to your mailing list and try to get readers to sign up for your mailing list, and then market to them after they sign up. So that's another option that a lot of authors have some success with.
I had never thought about running ads to a mailing list. Like, that makes so much sense, because like you said, having that direct contact with your reader or potential reader is so important. Is this a type of ad that written word media can help authors with, or is this something that they should tackle on their own?
Yes, so we can probably do this. We are in the stages of testing these out. The tricky thing is kind of validating the quality of the email signups that different authors have. So if you're interested in this as an author, please email us at info@writtenwordmedia.com, and we can see what we can do for you. But yeah, this is it's definitely something that authors are doing on their own and having success. And then I think, just as a holistic business practice, I think building your email list as an author is a really smart move. Because as we discussed earlier, as you know, if you're running ads on a platform like Facebook, suddenly one day everything can change, and suddenly things won't be working nearly as well. And email also relies on technology and different big tech companies, but email is the most reliable way to contact someone on the internet, right? Email is still direct. It's been used for a really long time. Everybody checks their email every day, just about. And so having someone's email address is what we call building your owned audience. Your email list is the audience that you own. Your followers on social media, or the people you reach via ads, that's what I would call your paid audience. Those are people that you can reach only by paying to reach them. You might have 1,000 followers on Facebook, but when you post, only 100 are going to see it, right? Maybe one clicks on it, right? That's kind of the exposure that organic posts get. But your email list, you might have 1,000 people, but if you have an open rate of 40%, that's 400 people opening, right? And so you can just get a much better reach if you build your email list. So I always tell authors, it's never too early to start building your email list. The people that join your email list early on are going to be your biggest fans. And I've seen authors develop really special relationships with people that way, right? They become ARC readers, they become reviewers, and they even help authors build stories. So I think building your email list is, I don't know, it's such a rewarding thing that I see for authors, and it's also a really good business practice. So I always recommend doing that whenever you can.
Yeah, and like you said, it's a way for authors to maintain full control over that part of their marketing versus relying on a retailer to reach their readers. So I think that's a great point. How does your marketing approach at Written Word Media differ depending on the author? So does it change based on genre, or if they're a newer author or a more experienced one?
Yeah, good question. So at Written Word Media, all of our products are very self-serve. And so if you go to the website, you can click Promote My Book, and you'll see a list of different promotions available to you as an author. And then you pick the one that you think is going to work the best for you, or the one that you want to try. We do have a really wonderful customer support team. They actually won an award for excellence in helping customers last year, which is really exciting. And our customers rave about them. And so I always tell authors, if you have any questions about what promo would work the best for you, if your book is kind of in between two of our genres and you're not sure which one to go with, anything like that, please email us. There's a contact form on the website, or you can email us at info@writtenwordmedia.com. You don't need to be a customer. You don't even need to be asking about written word media. You can be asking about anything in the world, and our team will do the best they can to help you. So don't hesitate to reach out, and we're more than happy to help recommend promos, recommend different sites to work with, whatever you need as an author. And so, yeah, our promos are not broken down by level of author or how many books you have or anything like that. But different authors tend to select the promos based on what their strategy is, what they think is going to work the best for them. But if you're unsure, definitely contact us. The team's very nice. So yeah, there's nothing to be afraid of there. And another thing too is I forget to say this, but sometimes we have authors schedule a promo and we'll see for whatever reason that we don't think it's going to do very well, right? And so if you schedule a promo with us and we think it would do better in a different genre, or we ran a book with a cover similar to yours that didn't perform well, and so we don't have high hopes for yours, then we'll go ahead and we'll contact the author and try to get them in a promo that's going to work better for them, or we'll cancel the promo and refund the author. Because if the promo doesn't work well, that's not good for anybody, right? And so we're really trying to help authors. That's our reputation in the industry, and that's something that we've worked hard to build over the years. So definitely contact us if there's any questions about what's going to work best for you.
I mean, Kobo has always had a reputation for being great at customer service, and it sounds like you're coming for us in that regard. Yeah. A friendly competition of who's nicer.
Yeah, who's nicer? Yeah, exactly.
I kind of want to loop back to the promo stacks for a second. And I'm curious how authors can best take advantage of promo stacks and kind of like which books do you find stacking promos work better for? Is it front list titles? Is it a great way to boost your backlist? What have you seen in terms of success here?
Yeah, so I think both front list and backlist work very well. The number one thing, like we were saying earlier, is that first book in the series, right? Getting that first book in the series out there and making sure that's getting a lot of attention is a great way to go. So regardless of how old the series is, promoting the first book is typically my recommendation. Something that does happen is authors will be releasing, book 5 or book 6 in the series, and they have to choose between promoting that book, the new release, or book 1, right? And so that's kind of a tricky scenario, right? You have the new book, which is new, it's exciting, right? That's a good hook to get readers' attention. But if you haven't read books 1 through 4 or 1 through 5, then you're probably not going to just start off by reading that new release. And so typically what I recommend for authors in that sort of situation is to make sure book 1 is getting enough attention before the new release. And then when you have the new release, putting a lot of marketing into that, because I do think the newness of a book is a powerful hook for readers. And so even if someone sees that a new book 6 is out, then they might say, oh, okay, well, there's 6 books. That sounds like a good series that I want to read. Maybe they'll go back and start at book 1. But I do think it's really important before a new release to make sure that your series is getting attention, to start getting readers kind of into the series. And then they'll be very excited that there's a new book out, that the series is still building and still growing. So that's something that I see authors do that I think that we could do better at a lot of the time. So if you have a new release coming up, make sure that you're marketing the first book in the series. And then once your new release is out, that's when you market that book. And so don't forget about the rest of the series. Make sure there's plenty of readers moving through it who will be excited by the next book.
Now, a lot of authors can be a little bit reluctant to run a price drop on a new release. Are all of the promo offerings currently price drop focused only?
So our promo stacks are 99 cents or free. So they are focused on price drop only. We do have a site called New in Books, which does not require a price drop or a price range. And that is for promoting new releases. And so for New in Books, we get you on all of our promo sites that we can promote your book on, depending on price and genre. And then we also run ads for your book and put your book in various lists across the web. So we have New in Books for promoting new releases specifically. And then the rest of our promos vary from free to $4.99. And one important note is that your book does not have to be specifically discounted to run a promo with us. So if your book is always $4.99, you can run a bargain booksy promo. If your book is always 99 cents, you can still run a promo stack. You don't have to specially discount your book for us.
And with so much changing in the indie publishing landscape all the time, how does Written Word Media keep the promo offerings that you're running fresh for both readers and for authors? And are there any standbys that you continue to come back to?
Yeah, good question. So a big part of the marketing department's job, and this was my job when I first started at Written Word Media, is adding readers to our email lists. So we're running a lot of ads for authors to sell their books. We're also running a lot of ads to get readers onto our mailing lists. And so that is a big focus of our marketing department. A lot of the money authors give us, we put right back into adding readers to the mailing lists. I think this year we're averaging, I think we're adding about 30,000 people a month or so. So yeah, it's no joke. It's quite the operation. So that is how we keep them fresh and how we keep them working. We also do a lot of different email marketing engagement techniques to keep our lists engaged and keep people clicking and wanting more books. And then as far as our offerings for authors, it's really just listening to authors, right? A lot of our products are authors coming to us with ideas. And so that's what Promo Stacks is, right? We know authors were using our promo sites. And the more authors we talk to, the more we realized, hey, these people don't have any time. We need to save them more time. And promo stacking is taking a lot of their time. What can we do to fix that, right? So we made Promo Stacks. Same thing with reader reach ads, where we run Facebook and Amazon ad campaigns for authors, right? Authors would come to us and say, hey, can you run my ads for me? Because I don't want to do it. And we didn't have anything for them. And so we built a program where we can run ad campaigns for authors. And so the way we build products is really customer driven, which is really fun because then occasionally you get to email someone and say, hey, you know that idea you had? Well, we built an entire product around it and here you go. So that's been a really fun thing. We also have a membership program at Written Word Media where authors can become a gold member or a platinum member. And to become a gold member, it costs $125 a year, and you save 10% on all the promos you run with us at Written Word Media. And this is one of those things that, authors would come to us and say, hey, I'm promoting with you every month, right? I'm spending a lot of money with you. Shouldn't I get a discount? And we thought, yes, you should. You're a very, very good customer. You should get a discount. And so we made membership, right? And so as a member, authors get to save money if they spend enough with us, right? And so for a lot of authors, they just did the simple math in their head and said, hey, that makes sense. I'm going to save money. But then there are also other benefits in the program, like advanced access to promo dates. So some of our promos sell out very far in advance. And so our gold and platinum members can see further in advance when they're scheduling. You also get access to discounts on other industry partners like Readsy or BookFunnel. And then you also are first in line when we're testing new products. So we're constantly testing new things and trying out new ways to sell books. And our gold and platinum members are the people we go to test these promos with. And so they get free promotions. And sometimes they'll get a discount on a new promo. So things like that. And so that's been another thing that's completely driven by authors coming to us and saying, hey, we spent a lot of money with you. Shouldn't we get a discount? Yes, of course they should. And so we made a membership program. So that's kind of how we keep things fresh is speaking with authors and building them the things that they need.
Now, do you have any predictions for marketing trends that we'll see emerging in the indie space? Or have authors been asking for something new and you can give us an exclusive sneak peek of things that are coming to Written Word Media in the future?
Yeah, good question. Okay, so number one, I think as far as predictions, so every year we kind of survey industry experts at Written Word Media and publish a blog post with predictions on what we see coming. So that's available on our website if people would like to go read the whole thing. But I think kind of the holistic trend we're seeing is the importance of owning your audience and connecting with readers, right? As the world becomes more riddled with AI, I think we're going to start craving more human connection. and really want to connect with real human people that are writing our books. And so authors who grow their mailing list and grow their brand and kind of how they speak to their readers and establish their personality with their readers, those are authors that are going to build their audience and build their business for the long term. So kind of this focus on connecting with your audience, whether that's via growing your mailing list and having a direct way to connect with readers, or building a brand and focusing on your colors, your fonts, the way you speak to your readers so they can very easily identify you. That's going to become more important in the coming years. So that's kind of the holistic trend that I see. At Written Word Media, we actually just launched kind of a smaller product, but basically it's a twist on our promo stacks, and it's called series promo stacks. So up until this point, our series promos had not been included in our promo stacks. And we had some authors say, hey, I am now choosing between running a series promo or a promo stack. Shouldn't I be able to do both? Well, yes, of course they should. So we made series promo stacks. We actually launched all of those yesterday. So they are all available now on writtenwordmedia.com. So if you were interested by sending readers to your series page on retailers and a promo stack, having a lot of activity in a short period of time, you can now do that on writtenwordmedia.com. So that is our latest and greatest innovation out there.
And where would you say first-time authors should start with their marketing? And what's kind of the most important thing for them to have? Is it like a website, a newsletter?
Yeah, good question. So I think for first-time authors, my number one advice is really to invest in your cover. Your book's cover is your most important marketing asset. We always say don't judge a book by its cover, but that's unfortunately not the reality. And so having a high quality cover really matters. And so if you are a first time author and you're about to publish a book and you have marketing budget, right? Maybe you've said, okay, I'm going to spend $100 marketing my book. If that $100 would be better spent investing in a high quality cover, investing in your cover, and then you wait 6 months to save up for your ads or something like that, I think investing in the cover is a great decision. So number one, invest in a high quality cover. Number two, I think having a website and an email list is also a really great investment. It can be really inexpensive. A lot of the email service providers, if you have fewer than like 1,000 subscribers or something like that, they'll actually let you have an account for free. So there's lots of options out there for that. And if you're able to build your email list from day one, you'll have those connections from day one. You'll have those very early fans. And so that's a great thing that's never too early to start doing. And then, of course, make sure you're promoting your website, your social media, whatever readers can do for you in the back matter of your book. Right? So at the very end of your book, you have your back matter, and you can put in links to your website, to other books that you have. And so if you're a first-time author, think about the thing a reader can do for you that would help you the most and make that the first ask in your back matter. So the reader just finished your book. Hopefully they liked it. If they liked it, they want to help you out. They're grateful for you. So ask them to do something for you. So if the number one thing they can do for you is leave a review, ask them to leave a review and tell them how much it would mean to you, right? Explain how much it means to you as a person, and they're going to be more likely to help you out because they like you. They just read your entire book, right? If you have a mailing list, maybe link to your mailing list and say, hey, join my mailing list. It would really help me out. I'll tell you when I have another book coming out. And so make sure you're linking to things readers can do to help you out. A lot of authors kind of underrate how much readers really like authors and want to help them out. So make it really easy for them. I think you might be surprised by how many readers take you up on an offer to join a mailing list or leave a review. So those are the three things I would say. Make sure you have a high quality cover. Make sure you have some asks for readers in your back matter. And then if you can, a website and a mailing list are great things to have as well.
I think those are some really good tips. And it's a great point that everyone should make sure they have a professional looking cover, especially when you're on a retailer with a bunch of traditionally published books. You want to make sure your book kind of stands out as fitting into the genre. And yeah, it's definitely like you said, the first impression that readers have of your book. So it's very important.
Absolutely.
You've given our listeners lots of great tips, and we've kept you for a long time now. But I also want to ask if there's anything else authors need to know about working with Written Word Media.
Good question. I mean, I think we've covered a lot. I would say if you're interested, just go to writtenwordmedia.com. We have a great blog with lots of information about book marketing and publishing. You can schedule all of your promos and promo stacks there. And then once again, do not be shy about reaching out. We are very friendly. We want to help you. And so if you're confused in any way, if you need advice, don't hesitate to contact us. You can email us at info@writtenwordmedia.com. There's also a contact form on the website.
Amazing. Well, we will include links to the email and to Written Word Media in the show notes of this episode. Is there anywhere that folks can reach you at Written Word Media if they have any Clayton specific questions, or would you prefer them to hit up your customer service team and they can forward?
Yeah. So if you just address the email to me, so if you send an email to info@writtenwordmedia.com and just say, hey, I'd like this to go to Clayton, that will go to me and I'll reply to you. You can also hit me up on TikTok. I run the Written Word Media TikTok account, so that's a very direct way to reach me. And then one other thing, I should promote my email list. So on writtenwordmedia.com, we have a free newsletter. That's a lot of emails from me about how to market your book. And so if you're interested in that, please go sign up for the email newsletter. We'll send you a bunch of good stuff about how to sell more books.
Incredible. I love it. I also kind of wish I realized you ran your TikTok earlier and we could have just bombarded you with TikTok questions, but that'll be our next episode with you.
Sounds good.
Well, Clayton, thank you so much for joining us and for giving us so much information and advice.
Thank you. Lots of great tips for authors here for sure.
Good. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. This is really fun.
Thank you for listening to the Kobo Writing Life podcast. If you are interested in learning more about Written Word Media, we will include links to their website and their email in our show notes. If you are enjoying this podcast, please be sure to rate, review, subscribe, tell your friends to listen. And if you're looking for more tips on growing your self-publishing business, you can find us at kobowritinglife.com and be sure to follow us on socials. We are at Kobo Writing Life on Facebook and Twitter and at kobo.writing.life on Instagram.
This episode was hosted by Laura Granger and Rachel Wharton with production by Terrence Abrahams. Editing is provided by Kelly Robotham. Our theme music is composed by Tearjerker, and thanks to Clayton Noblit for being a guest. If you're ready to start your publishing journey, sign up today at kobo.com/writinglife. Until next time, happy writing!